Hey guys, let me see. The live has started and I am so excited for today. Excited to chat with everybody out there. As you guys know, this is Women's Wednesdays. This by far is becoming one of my most favorite days of the week because I get to chat with women everywhere, all over the world, literally. And the goal is to talk about things that we all can relate to about us women. And also the guys are invited too to hear the things that us women like to talk about, and everything from life, love, anything, all the things that come to our mind, how we're trying to figure out things about ourselves, learn about ourselves, but most importantly during this time of COVID, because it's such a unique time. And I think the reality is that during this time, the most important thing that I always like stressing is that we're all in this together. This time period that we're going through, literally not one person is left off of this boat. COVID-19 sees no color. COVID-19 sees no socioeconomic status. It is a very strong virus, one that we're all trying to figure out. I always say to people that we're living in the time of the unknown. And so what I've discovered in this time that I just kind of been thinking about, that's been kind of like heavy on my heart, honestly, heavy on my mind, is that because I am a pregnant woman, I think about other pregnant women like myself during this time. And I think like the things that I'm learning about or having to experience. And I'm like, okay, well, I would love to hear from other pregnant women around the world to know what they're experiencing as well, because you don't really hear that much about us women in the news. You don't really hear too much details about a woman being affected by COVID. There's been a few stories, also babies being affected by COVID. There's been a few of those stories as well, but not really as many as we hear on a daily basis of just the general population and just how everyone's being impacted by the virus globally. But I'm very sensitive to us right now because I am learning about things every day, or not every day, but through every experience. And great example, my ultrasound. Like I was really, really bummed and taken aback a little bit because I couldn't do my ultrasound with my husband. I couldn't do it with Russ. And that was really, it's like one of my favorite moments that we look forward to. You know, you do it every, 4 weeks. And you do it as needed as well. But that's kind of like one of our highlights to our experience that we get to have while I'm carrying the baby. It's kind of, I think, the man's way of being able to be in tune with you and in tune with the baby. So they kind of get to have their moment too by seeing the ultrasound with you and being able to see the photos and just being in the room with you, being your support, holding your hand. Like I'm the kind of woman that I love holding hands through it all. And Russ is the same way. Even if I'm doing getting my blood withdrawn, he's in the room with me. He really is an every step of the way kind of guy, down to just all the checkup process, without saying too much, if you know what I mean. But, to not be able to have that experience, was a bummer. And then I think about, okay, when it's time to deliver, what is that going to be like? I know in some places for a short period of time, they weren't even allowing mothers to deliver with their spouses. I think that's changed, and we'll talk about that later because I'm excited that my obstetrician, Dr. Robert Katz, is going to join us today, who's delivered all my babies. He is like family to me and one of my most trusted sources that I go to in this time to ask questions about the era of COVID-19, how I'm affected by it, how, he helps me with understanding about giving me the updates on all the new discoveries that are happening. So I'm looking forward to having him join us on the call today. And then I also reached out to other women like myself, and I know some of you guys submitted some of your names to the Beauty Marks Entertainment Instagram page. So I'm going to talk to two women today, at least two today, or a few of you guys, and we'll have probably like a good 5 to 7 minutes or so, because I want to make sure that we get all of our questions in, that my doctor can hear what you guys are saying. So when he hops on, he can educate us all about the pregnant woman in the COVID-19 era. This is really a historic time, historical time. And I think that the thing about this for me is, I'm like, being a pregnant woman in the era of COVID-19, I want to journalize what's happening, because I've never experienced anything like this before. I've never seen anything like this before. I know there's talks of like this being worse than the Great Depression. Like, there's all these things that are just kind of like so much to learn. But carrying a baby in this era is very, it's a very unique time. And I try to be positive through it all. I try not to overthink things. Like, great example, I can't plan a proper baby shower right now, because I don't know, like, we don't know when it's going to be properly safe again to even send out invites. And we know that if you send out invites now, no one can probably commit, because they don't even know. Our 2 kids have birthdays coming up. April 28th is Sienna's birthday. We have to do our birthday party at home, and Future's birthday is May 19th. We have to do our birthday party at home. But again, going back to the baby specific stuff, their baby rooms aren't even done yet. And I'm like, thank God. I'm the hand-me-down kind of mom, so I thank God that I've saved a lot of my hand-me-downs from both Future and Sienna, because I think anyone that knows me knows I love kids, and I actually do love having kids. So I saved a lot of the hand-me-downs from their experiences to say, just in case. And then I gave away a lot of stuff too. But there were key pieces that I really liked for boy and girl. And as you guys now know, I'm having a boy. So I thank God that I saved those. But as far as their baby rooms go, I'm literally going to have a virtual conversation about how we can get all the items that we need for the baby room. And then we'll know the perfect time to put those items in his room. And so, I can't help but think about all the other women that are like myself during this time, and just kind of thinking about some that may not even have as many resources during this time, and just thinking about each and every one of you and wanting to talk about us. There's not that much conversation about us. So I wanted to talk about us, talk to each other, and also inform each other in the process. So I think that being said, let's get into our conversation for today. First up, I'm going to try to reach out to a sweet woman. Her name is I think it's My Name Jazz. I think it is. I'm going to reach out to her because she's actually in the Johns Hopkins Hospital, and she's on bed rest right now. And her baby has to go to the NICU. And to my understanding, they can't even see their baby right now, which is crazy. Because I know that first moment when your baby comes out, and how you want to go, and how you want to bond with them, and how you want to be around them. And so I want to speak to her and kind of learn more about her. So let's check her out.
Oh Lord.
I'm losing. I felt so bad last week trying to do an Instagram live with someone, and it just kept saying unable to join. I'm just like, I really want to have this conversation with you. So I'm glad this works. So your Instagram name is My Name Jazz, but what should I call you?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. Awesome. Where are you at right now?
So I'm currently admitted to Johns Hopkins Hospital, and I'm admitted because I went into labor. Well, my water broke 2 months early. So I'm admitted for preterm labor, which means that that's why I couldn't leave the hospital. So he's going to be born anytime from now until the next 2 weeks. And so as far as the NICU, because they have to take him out early because of risk of infection, he'll have to go to the NICU. So with everything going on is, visitation on whether or not me and my husband can go to the NICU. It's all up in the air. And if I have to have an emergency C-section, then he's not allowed to go in at all if I have to have a C-section.
Oh man.
So, I was like you at first, where I was worried about, oh my goodness, we both are first time parents, and so we couldn't have baby showers because our family's out of town. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, now he may not even be able to see his son being born and all of that. So
that makes me want to cry. I'm so sorry that's happening to you. I'm actually crying. I'm so sorry that's happening to you, because it is a blessing when you get to experience your birth with your little one for the first time. But I do want to encourage you to tell you, I think the most important thing is that your baby is healthy and to the best of its ability, because you're going to deliver earlier.
Right.
So it's a, so I think that's kind of where we have to be as moms. It's like where we put ourselves first, because no, not ourselves, but put our babies first, because we're thinking more about what's best for them during this time. And that's a huge
Right.
sacrifice that you guys are going to make, for your baby. But I mean, I can only imagine for you the first time you heard it, you
Yeah.
know,
It's been crazy because even with everything going on, I'm like, okay, I'm not doing to June. So maybe by
right.
June, things will die down because I've been hearing about possibilities of spouses not being able to be there. And then
Yeah.
boom, my water breaks early. So it's, we've been having a long road. I originally almost went into labor when I was about 4 months pregnant and had to have an emergency surgery. And so
Oh,
then it was life or death for, our little one. So I'm grateful to be further along. So it's more of a NICU stay now. And the baby shower stuff is kind of put on the back burner. It's not important for us, but it is stressful for both of us to be first time parents. And
oh,
as of now, he pretty much lives in the hospital with me because the visitation policy has been so up in the air, and we don't want to
yeah.
risk him going
Going
home
out and
and
then coming
and then
in.
they change it. So he's been, luckily able to work from the hospital and live here with us and
Oh,
have his snacks and everything. So
praise the Lord. What's his
yeah,
what's his name?
his name is Chris.
Chris.
And
We gotta send Chris some love for being a
yes, and
trooper
we
with you.
And we even were able to do, my mother is a photographer, Katrina Cross. And so we did a virtual FaceTime, like maternity shoot, because I didn't get to have any of those pictures
Oh
where
my
she was able to
God.
guide him, like stand on this angle or stand on that angle to take photos. So we're able to get a few photos of me being pregnant at least. So that's
Oh
good.
my goodness. That is amazing. That's like how we were doing the other day, where we had to, I mean, literally everything that we're having to do now is virtual. Obviously, everything we have to do is virtual during this time. But doing my ultrasound the other day with Russ on FaceTime, as I was saying earlier, was just really kind of like, it was surreal. It was different. The facility that we were in, that I was in, was the traffic was incredibly light,
Right.
lighter than the norm, significantly lighter. But, I think the biggest thing is that we're all taking the precautions necessary, to protect us in this time and to protect our babies, our unborn babies. And then I
Right.
have two of my kids have asthma. So I also have to think about them in the process too. So I just really want to be extra careful because they're also highly susceptible to the virus too. But it's, I don't know if there's any question that you can think of that you'd want to ask when, so my doctor, Robert Katz, is going to get on at some point in time. If there's any other question you would have, I do know he told me when I kind of explained your situation
Mm-hmm.
that every hospital kind of has its own set of rules. And I noticed, I think in what you submitted to us is that you're saying it's day by day as far as like what the rules are going to be. So
Right.
maybe the question that you would have for my
Yeah.
doctor as well.
I guess one of the questions is, so right now they just changed as of like maybe 2 days ago that all moms that go into active labor will have to get tested for COVID. And it's been a lot of debate on, since my husband is living here with me, at the hospital, if I get tested for COVID and test positive, that he has to leave the hospital, and I don't have contact with baby for a few weeks. And I guess
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know what's his thoughts on the husband having to leave, because I would assume if he's been here with me this entire time, it's kind of like,
If
well,
he
is it
has it.
beneficial for him to leave if I get tested
Right.
since he's here with me already? Or kind of what that thought process is on the husband having to leave if I test positive.
Okay, awesome. So when he hops on, I love to hear what his thoughts are, in response to your question. And, Jasmine, I just want to say to you, being a mom and knowing all that we're built for everything that we go through. So I just want to encourage you to stay encouraged. And you seem like you're upbeat in your process,
It's
which is,
trying to be so much
yeah,
going
you
on. I'm
have to
trying to be
be.
positive.
You have to. I think that's the most important thing for us to withstand this time, is to stay positive and to stay hopeful and to stay prayerful and to keep our faith strong and to do what's best for our babies. Honestly, I think that's the most important thing, and especially for someone like yourself who you're also, you're in your situation is even more compromised because your water broke early. And so, you're just trying to do your best to make sure you're staying as healthy as you can. And, your body can hold on for as long as it can. So
Right.
one of my doctors we always say, are part of our team, we say, let that baby cook. So I let the baby cook in the belly for as long as it can. So
Yeah.
I'm glad for you that you made it to this point. And we're going to be praying for you and
Thank
thinking of
you.
you. And I think the biggest thing for me is to let everyone know, especially the pregnant moms, especially us, is that you're not alone in this time. Like we really are, we're alone together, as they say, during this time. And and I'm glad that I was able to share a conversation with you. And I hope that any other mom out here watching can be encouraged by your story. But again, God is a miraculous God. It's just amazing to see like how we come through every challenge that we face. Whether it's expecting a baby, whether it's life challenges that are thrown our way, the way God has made us as women is incredibly special. And so, I have no doubt we're going to believe that your baby's going to cook in that belly for as long as it can.
2 more weeks, please, at least 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks. Let's go. 2 more weeks. And then also, we're going to send some love to Chris for being a trooper with you.
Yes,
We're going
he's
to
a
declare that you guys are COVID free, that you don't have COVID. Okay, that's not even happening. All right.
yes. We have our mask right here when anybody comes in.
Exactly. Put the mask on. And so we'll be thinking of you. And then I look forward to seeing what my doctor says about spouses having to leave, if you get tested positive for COVID, what that, his thoughts on what that is. So look out for his answer. And then we'll be thinking of you. And I'm just praying for you to have a successful delivery and a healthy baby. That's all we should want, right? For us moms,
Right.
I'm like, healthy baby, right? Hang on in there. 2 more weeks. You got
Thank you.
this.
2 more weeks. Thank you
Let's
so
go.
much for
Everybody
having
send some
me.
love to Jasmine right now. 2 more weeks. Let's
2 more
go.
weeks. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Man, my little nose is watery. Guys, I tell you, when you're pregnant, you cry so much, your hormones. But it's crazy. Okay, so I think we have our next person that I'm going to try to reach out to. It says Pretty Smile 345. I'm going to try her. She is a pregnant nurse right now. Here we go. Let's see here. I don't know. It's something that happens here. Sorry, guys.
I wonder if I need to delete and re-download Instagram.
Probably so.
You
But I can go here. Because we ended up getting her last time.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys.